it's an exclusive. Yes, apparently we can bake stuff, we can eat it, and it's vegan. Welcome to the very first episode of Bake Vegan Stuff with Sara KIDD. Thanks so much for tuning in. I'm your host, Sara, and every Wednesday I'm going to be sharing with you my most amazing vegan baking recipes, as well as a wealth of knowledge and baking tips and tricks to help you out along the way. So make sure you subscribe to my channel so you don't miss an episode. And in the description below, you're gonna find a link to the recipe for each episode. So subscribe and let's get baking, because today we're making something fabulous. We're making these guys, which are 1 bowl vegan cupcakes. They're so cute, they're so easy, and I thought, hey, let's start off with something classic that everyone loves so we can all get in the kitchen and start baking together. So what you're gonna need is your kitchen scales, a large mixing bowl, your sieve, a whisk, your cupcake tray, which is already greased, and a jug to measure out your liquid. And that's it. So let's get started. I'm gonna pop my kitchen scales on to 0, and I'm gonna start with 200 grams of plain flour. So then we're gonna add 30 grams of cornstarch or corn flour. Okay, so here's the first tip. We're adding corn flour or cornstarch to our plain flour to make cake flour, which means that our cupcakes are gonna be really light and fluffy. Next up, we're gonna add 1.5 teaspoons of baking powder. We're gonna add 1/2 teaspoon of baking soda. And we're also gonna add 1/2 teaspoon of salt. And then we're gonna add 100 grams of powdered sugar or icing sugar. And I'm using icing sugar instead of normal sugar. Here's your second tip, because I really like adding things that are light when we're making a sponge cake or a really fluffy cake type of recipe. So then we want to sieve all those ingredients in together. So next up, we're gonna add all our wet ingredients into our dry ingredients. So first, I've got 220 mils of plant-based milk, which is soy milk I'm using, and I've added 2 tablespoons of white vinegar and mixed it together so it's become quite thick. Now this is vegan buttermilk. Now the vegan buttermilk, because it's got vinegar in it, is gonna act as our egg replacer in our cupcakes. So in it goes. Then I'm gonna add 100 mils of veggie oil. Next, I've got my best vanilla extract. Okay, so here's your next tip. With vanilla, you generally wanna try and get your hands on the best vanilla you can, and you wanna double it with any vegan baking recipe. Next up, I'm just gonna put 1/2 teaspoon of almond extract. All we need to do is mix the ingredients together. So I've got my whisk, and I'm just gonna fold the ingredients while I turn the bowl around. See, I'm just gonna be really gentle with the mixture. You want it until it's just combined and you can see all the flour has mixed through. With your butter, you don't want to over mix it, because then your cakes become really dense and not very fluffy. So as soon as it's just combined, that's it, it's done. Step away from the batter. You want to grab your cupcake tray. So you can either do your cupcakes naked, so grease your pan, or you can use cupcake liners. I'm going to do them naked today. So I've just got a large spoon, and I'm just going to pop a large tablespoon into each hole. So you want to fill them about 3/4 of the way through, and this batter is going to make about 12 to 15 cupcakes depending on the size of your tray. We're going to pop them in the oven for 12 to 15 minutes. Okay, So I've taken the cupcakes out of the oven, removed them from the tray and popped them on a cooling rack to let them completely cool down. And as you can see, they're perfect. They're just cute, these little guys. Look, they've got a beautiful fluffy texture, a little tiny peak on top, and they're just divine. So I've cut one up so you can have a look at the inside of them. Look at that beautiful cake texture. They're just perfect. This is such a great recipe. So the next thing you want to do is you want to decorate your cupcakes with some vegan buttercream and some fancy sprinkles. Oh, they're so pretty. Look at this. And if you check out my next video, I'll be showing you how to make vegan buttercream and chocolate ganache to decorate your cupcakes. So I'll see you next week. Make sure you subscribe to my channel. Let me know how you went with this recipe in the comments down below. See you later. I really feel like some cake now.